everyone, hope you're doing well. Today in War Thunder, it is time to have a look at what is going on in the Halloween event this year. It's pretty simple, very similar to the years before. We have a bunch of races where you yourself can get access to some cool decorations and also some decals. Basically from the 31st of October to the 1st of November, so pretty much just today, and that is it. You are able to get yourself some of these decorations. You can see here, if you earn 300 rating points in the supercharged M18 Hellcat, you can get a prize of one of these creepy decorations, either a chainsaw, slash mask, witch hat, or a jack-o'-lantern. And then on the other side of things, you can fly the Night Witch aircraft and earn 300 rating points to get one of the unique decals. The rating depends on the position in which you finished the race. And then, also on top of that, if you finish in the top 1,000 pilots, you'll permanently receive the unique Po-2 biplane. The vehicle will be awarded during the 24 hours from the end of the event. Now, I think this is just the standard PO2. I don't think this is the special PO2 that is about. If you look in the files, there's some form of Night Witch's PO2, which I'm pretty sure is the one which you use in this event itself, which has, you know, pumpkins on it and stuff. Another thing is that all of these decorations have been basically given away before. I don't think that's the same with these decals, though. Like the Blow Your Mind one, I was talking to Nito, and he said that this was available in one of the War Bond shops, I believe, or maybe one of the weekly decals. So therefore, it is kind of interesting that they're bringing them back in this way. I've only really got this one I can find, and also the Trick or Treat one. So therefore, these were probably there in some form or another in a different way. But this one is just a really cool decal. I think this one is absolutely ace when we actually look at it. So the other thing as well is if you want to find out where the races are, it's very simple. So you just go to events and tournaments, and they're sat right here in these two places. If you've never played the M18 one, I would definitely say just give it a go. It is one of the funnest little things that you can do. Kind of frustrating to get first place, but the thing is, now since you don't need first places, instead you just need to earn a 300 rating points overall, you can just play, you know, and just have fun. So instead of having to, you know, compete for first place all the time, instead just enjoy, you know, the game and just try and get a little bit better at it, but you know, just keep playing. I've seen a bunch of people get 300 points without really even winning one match, just, you know, playing, getting some thirds and fourths and all of that, and the same as with the Witch Hunt as well. And the fact that you can get the PO2 with this, if you haven't got the PO2 before, if we have a look at the, you know, the top 1,000 players, which, you know, we have to go back quite a lot for, it shouldn't actually be that hard to get this thing. You can see that a lot of people have already played a lot of races, but you can see, you know, in the top 300 there are a lot of people who haven't actually won a race yet, and they're in the, you know, top 300. So I would be surprised if it would be that hard to get the machine. You can see I've done one race so far. I came second in this race. My best lap, or fastest lap, is so far behind any of these guys, and I don't know how. But you can see I got 71 points just from coming second in one race. So let's say we times that by what? Times that by 4, so 70, 140, 210, 280. I'm nearly already at, you know, the 300 mark that you require. A lot of these people, you can see they've, to get around the 300, which would put you in the 1,000, remember, at this time, you can see they've only done less than 10 races, maybe won one of them, maybe won 2 of them, and you know, you can get that 300 easy. And the reason why you're trying to get the 300 is for the decals, which, you know, you will find in the special area, like stuff like this, the little pumpkin that you can see here. Always nice to see his little glossy face, and the other stuff as well, the decorations. And remember, you need to do the Hellcat event in order to get the decorations done, and then get one of the decorations, I should say, and then the decal event you need to play the Po-2 event. These are the decorations that are on offer. So you've got the Jason mask, you have the chainsaw, which you can see here. then of course you don't have the axe, unfortunately, but you do have the witch's hat. The witch's hat is probably the biggest out of all of the decorations, which is lovely. And then you got the jack-o'-lantern as well. So those are the four that are on offer here. I think personally the chainsaw is the coolest. I put it on a lot of my vehicles, kind of like as a jousting implement. And also the hat is, I think, it might be the biggest decoration that we have. Yeah, even the little thing here doesn't even compare. So, and also, of course, all of the April Fool's hats from back in the day. I remember picking all of these up. The witch's hat definitely is bigger than the other witch's hats. There you go. Just because it's black, it means that it's bigger, even though they are exactly the same size. Never mind. So yeah, if you want to fly about with Halloween stuff, you can do in the game. And for me, I would definitely say it's worth it because it's just a little bit of fun. You know, you get a little thing out of it. Why not just enjoy yourself for a day? You know, it's basically 4 or 5 races, and that's it. So I'm going to actually do a air race here just to kind of show you what it's like, and because I actually know first. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to show you the Potu after this, and also hope that my display capture is okay here. So if there's any frame drops, I apologize, but it should be okay. Of course, put yourself on universal for no apparent reason, because obviously you don't really get any shooting done in this event. Another thing as well is understand that you can cut the corners on some of the little zones. You don't have to go straight through them, and also just make sure you don't crash and you should be fine. You also don't have a ton of people in each of the battles. You can see here that there are 8 people overall, so you're not competing against a ton of people at the same time, so it doesn't get as very much clustered on the screen. And also, I at least wept at the start of the battle just to try and get that little bit of an edge. And there seems to be 2 maps. You've got the standard one, and then you've got the anti-clockwise one, which is, of course, the one which you find around this same island. It's the same, it seems to be the same one which we've had before. Please don't dig down. And you just, the way that you always do these events is you always focus on the next one in line. So this one, I'm not actually looking at the one that I'm going through, I'm looking at the one which is down the way. And by doing that, what you do is you end up with being able to set up on this. You also have the map in the bottom right corner, which you know, it's always a good idea to have a look at. And this is probably the little testy part when it comes to this side of the map. It's pretty easy to do, you know. Just as I said, you don't have to go through the ones themselves, you can actually cut them if you feel like it. And what that will do is that will just mean that, you know, you are still going through them, but you can get a little bit of an edge on your competition. You can see here that the guy in front, that's exactly what he did. Another thing is you actually show smoke, so you can see my red, white and blue smoke there, which is really cool. I'm happy that they brought that back on this event, so you can actually, you know, I suppose you can kind of game your opponents, but not really. It's not something that you have to worry about too much. And as long as, you know, you come in the like top 3 or whatever, you should be completely fine when it comes to you know, moving about. Rolling your machine will not lose you power, so don't worry too much about that. It's kind of like a boosted arcade control that you're running into when it comes to these races. If you've never played the Hellcat race, it is one of the most insane, you know, things that War Thunder has to offer. In my opinion, it's up there with like Tank Football as one of those, you know, really interesting things. You can see there that that dude just completely skipped that one in front. And maybe it might be worth, that would be one critique that I have for the event. It might be worth actually making it so people have to go through the rings instead of just trying to clip them, because a lot of these you don't even have to clip. You can just like go miles away from, and you don't even have to, you know, you don't even have to touch. On top of this as well, you can see that with second, we haven't really done anything crazy. We've just kind of not died and made sure to hit every checkpoint. You can see there that this lad is so far away from the checkpoints, and he's still hitting them. Look at that! Like, look how insane it is. They really need to calibrate, you know, these checkpoints when it comes to how you go through them. Because instead of it being about going through the checkpoints a lot of the time, it just comes to the point of how much can you get away with while also hitting the checkpoints, which is actually quite a lot. Another thing that would be cool is you see how there's some ground fire here, especially with the new sound and stuff. It would be lovely to see more of that around the place. There's actually on the German map, there's a new, I'm not sure if it's new, on the German test drive map, there's like a new, what's the word? There's a new train which goes around the place, and you can actually hear its whistle. So you can hear the whistle going around the place, and it would be nice to just hear more of those sounds on this map, just to give you a bit of ambient noise, maybe just to throw you off, maybe some explosions, some hoo-hoo-ha-has, you know what I mean? Just have some fun. So we're comfortably in second place here. We're not going to beat the NRU guy because of him clipping stuff and also just being incredibly quick. The other thing as well is, as long as we don't crash here, we're Gucci. So we've got to make sure not to crash. And yeah, just focusing on the next point, making sure to not clip anything, rolling to the correct areas. And basically just trying to, you've got to make the smallest adjustments possible to make the turn, so you lose the least speed. So the smaller adjustments you make to turn with the the snappiest way is the best way to do this, because you lose the least speed. It's as simple as that. So you just got to make sure. You just got to make sure that you can do that. And also, if you want to increase your gamma so you can actually see the track, that is also something which will help you. For me personally, I've played this track so many times, I kind of know it off by heart. This track has been around for an incredibly long time in War Thunder, so it's just it's one of those things that you kind of get used to. Also, this map is available as a custom mission, so if you ever wanted to see jets in a race, or a certain vehicle in a race, this one is actually really fun to try out for those things. So make sure to get a few friends together and try that, and have a bit of fun. So there you go. Simple as, that is second place, and it does say mission failed. I would say second place is a mission win out of 8, but that's just me. Fastest lap is 2 minutes 38, so it shows that certain maps are faster than the other ones compared to it. And then we can see here that, to be honest, like, if you finish the race, like these guys obviously didn't finish the race, if you finish the race, you end up pretty close to each other. It's, most people don't screw up unless you crash like these guys. So, and also, by just finishing the race, it looks like in this one you're guaranteed at least 5th place, which I'm sure will give you some points, at the end of it. And, wow, that guy beat my best lap by a crazy amount. There we go, so everybody's finished now, including Asgard and also Daughters Lou. And since there's only 8 people, as I said, it's just much more relaxing than the other races, which were a little bit more hectic when it came to the amount of people around. And the reason why you're racing, the reason why you want to get into that top 1,000, you can see 70 points. So I got 71 and 70 points for my 2 races. So you get around 70 for second place. I'm guessing you get like 90 or 100 for a first, and then maybe 50 or 60 for a third, but I'm not sure about that, right? No idea if that's true or not. The other thing as well is the reason why you're racing is in order to get this machine in aviation, to get this little Po2 right here, this little boy. Now, this is the one you actually use in the races, and you can see that it has a crew of 2. It's got a 762 on the back, and also only can go 134 kilometers an hour. It's an incredibly slow machine, and it's one of those iconic vehicles in War Thunder, which, is it's just interesting to see at the end of the day, just because of, it's much more of a collector's item than anything else. It doesn't have premium, it doesn't have good research ability because it's in rank 1, but at the same time, it's just one of those things that you're really happy to have, and it's one of those things that maybe you take out every once in a while with a few mates and just have a bit of fun with. And if we have a look here on the Witch Hunt event, so it hasn't updated yet, which is kind of a shame, but my guess is I'll be a hell of a lot higher now with that result. So yeah, have a bit of fun with the two events. Get yourself to 300, get yourself some decals and the decal and the decoration, and then also get yourself this Po 2 if you want to try hard. It's only for a day, you know, you only have to work hard for a day, and it won't be hard to get into that top 1000, because to be honest, a lot of War Thunder players probably already have this. So if you're one of those people who's missing out, this is your time to get this little beauty. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Ambrosius McClellan, B. Young, Blackie, Daniel Stanton, Jay Wilt, John Ryman, Joseph Anders, Martinez, Moxie, Super Cacti, Uyins Terry, Elove Goat, and Seductive Trash Can for supporting the channel.